I've got my daughter Shiloh's recent relief sculpture, in a large oval with a rooster dominating the whole shape, and it's made up of layers. So it's a layered, like a relief piece. So you can see a little bit from the side. Things stand out from the surface at various depth. It's a little bit like an icon, maybe a traditional icon, because it compresses events that are sequential into one location. So here's the scene from the Gospel where Peter, who toward the end of the story actually is weeping, he's remorseful about what's happened, but there's also what happened a little bit before. If you travel up the side a little bit, there's this flame made of the same material as the sky, representing the fire that was in the courtyard when the servant girl approaches Peter and says, "Well, you were with Jesus. You're one of his crowd." And Peter denies it. He denies it 3 times, and then the rooster crows. And of course, that was the signal. That was the reminder of what Jesus had foretold would happen. So there we are. On the hill in the distance are 3 trees, but they're also discernible as crosses. And so in the same picture, we have the antidote to Peter's denial, the antidote to the denial of all of us, the denial of Christ that we could all be said to be guilty of. The antidote to the predicament, to the malevolence within the heart, the evil, the sin within the heart of all of us. So Peter, in a sense, sums up the human predicament of us estranged from God. So in the background, you can see coming over. You can see the city of, perhaps the city of Jerusalem in outline, and it's interesting to me because I don't really think this was of any particular influence on my daughter, but several decades ago I did a series of relief sculptures, and they were objects that were chosen and angled to show their depth, but then the depth was amplified by building them up in layers. The ones I made were actually made of corrugated cardboard, and then filled in on the edges and on the surface to make it not apparent what the material was. And some of them were quite large. They were on the wall, but I don't have any of those at hand existing anymore. But I did make a couple of little pieces that were, I suppose, kind of a little bit like jewelry, maybe, if you can make jewelry out of cardboard. So there's a toaster, 2 pieces of toast popped up, and it's actually layered so the crusts stick out further than the piece of toast, and so on. So that was a little precursor, maybe a little anticipation of the very sophisticated sculpture that Shiloh pulled off with her story from the Gospel of Peter's denial. At the point of making this little video, the I know Shiloh is at work on similar pieces leading up to an exhibition. So look forward to that.